Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today we're going to do one repot on my full-size Cherimoya that I'm growing to be more of a 4-foot, 5-foot tall tree within the house that eventually will produce some fruit. If you don't know, a Cherimoya is a fruiting vine from warmer climates, so it's grown. These have grown from seed indoors. I got the seeds from a guy on Etsy in Portugal. And so they've grown indoors since I grew them from seed. They're working on their third year of life, and obviously no fruit yet. But I think that leaving one more on the full size, I will be able to get fruit within, say, 5 to 7 years. Haven't put them outdoors, but that could also be in the works in the warmer months, late spring to early fall. And then the other one, I'm training as a pre-bonsai, so we're going to prune that bad boy back today. Rare plant for a bonsai because it does have the big leaves like an avocado, but it's really interesting fruit. I was really interested when I read about it. The nutrition levels on this fruit are epic, and apparently it's really tasty. So it may be the only Cherimoya bonsai out there, but that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, y'all. So you may hear the sounds of a 6-month-old baby crying in the background or fussing. But she just came from her 6-month appointment and had an inoculation. So, she might be a little cranky, a little sore. Anyways, little baby Stella, poor baby. But full good report from the doctors. So that's always good. So here we have tree number 1. And it's planted way too deep in some really dense, basically topsoil with some fertilizer pellets scattered on top. So definitely upgrading the soil today, and I'm going to get it into this much larger pot because if I'm going to have it fruit and be more of a bush here, 4 to 5 feet tall, then it needs to be able to grow some roots, and so that's what I'm going to do. And oppositely, this one, it's long and stringy as well. Right now, it has a nice low branch and some leaves down here. This guy's in some decent soil, already in an upgraded pot with some cool patina and nice terracotta with patina. And this one's not as thick, so naturally it chose to be the bonsai of the two. So we're going to get this one pruned, and this one will change the pot. So why don't we do the pruning first, and then I'll stop and get the cloth out for when I make a mess. So I really just let these grow this year. Like a lot of my trees, I wanted to get some size on the trunk and just let them go, so I did that. So from the last time I pruned it, this thing's maybe gotten one pruning as a bonsai. So it looks like it was right here and down here. So we didn't get much branching. I got a couple of branches coming off here. Oh, and there's one here. So another little branch coming off the back side. And this one, I don't think made it. So I'll take that one back to where it's not a dark black. Maybe we could get it to bud out. Little piece that was left from last time. Same thing here. I'm just going to go for it. I'll bring it back to where there's just a couple of leaves on the leader here. Leave some room for dieback because I've noticed it definitely has some for that. Look at that. Pretty cool. Yeah, Pedro on Etsy is where I got these from. And he was pretty cool. The first time they came through, customs messed them up, and I only got 4 seeds. None of them were really viable, and he sent me a full pack, no questions asked. Again, and I had 3 grow, and 1 I put outside at one point because it got attacked by spider mites, I believe. And it didn't like it. It didn't come back. Just going to follow the pattern for now, probably for the next 4 or 5 years, since this thing doesn't really branch that much. of just pruning it back to 2 leaves on each branch. And unless it's a totally terrible branch that backbuds out, that when it backbuds it comes out where I would never want it, I'll probably just keep them all and continue to do this for a while. Same thing here. These pruners are a bit of overkill, but when I pulled out all the tools, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this yet. I talked to my broski Ian at Back Garden Bonsai about it, and I've stared at him for a few days now, and here we are. So nothing really exciting about this one going on yet, but the species is exciting, and the thought of having one as a bonsai, and I haven't really seen any. I like to, you know, have some unique trees where no one would know what the heck it is. So yeah, that'll do it for that one. All right, I'm gonna get out the mat for the soil, and we'll get this other one planted. All right, so here we have the one. We're upgrading to this larger terracotta colored plastic pot. And I anticipate, you know, if I'm putting it from a pot this size into this size, I anticipate it'll at least be in there for 3 years before I check out the root system or anything like that. So what I have here is, I shook it up earlier. It's probably a third fresh perlite. And then 2/3 like recycled mixed soil. So if anything from topsoil, some sort of peat moss, more perlite, some tree fertilizer pellets, you know, just a mix of, say, plants that were annuals or trees that passed, or just you know, soil from another repotting. When I'm doing a large planting like this, I'm not going to use bonsai soil. I feel like I would have to be a millionaire before I would ever make that decision, which is not the case. So here we are. So I've got an old root ball that I'm going to have assist me for basically being the drainage screens at the bottom of this. Because a pot this large, I think, would typically be meant for outdoors. So there's some large holes at the bottom. So I have a nice container from a fruit tray that'll be great for a drip tray under here, but this is going to be definitely inside at least until spring, the following spring, not this spring, the following one. So you see, nice amount of white perlite. I have a huge bag of perlite Laura had gotten for me for my bonsai mix, and it's still a lot. It's great. You know, I thought at the time it was expensive, but when I saw how much actually came, it was insanity. So I'm just getting a good layer down here, judging by the size of this pot, which I clearly was in desperate need of a pot when I chose this one for the Cherimoya. Because this is the ugliest pot I've ever seen, in my opinion, ever. Oh, it was probably, I picked it up on the side of the road for free. You don't have to be pretty if you're free. I'll use you for something. Okay, looks like I used some old biodegradable pouches that I germinate seeds in to just fill in the base last time. I was being lazy apparently. So I'll be able to reuse those. And I don't know, you can see there's roots, they're healthy. I don't know what color they would be normally, but these ones are white at the bottom, and it's really not matted up or going around the outside or anything like that. So I probably could have gotten away with keeping it in that pot and it not getting root bound and growing well for the next year, but I'm happy to upgrade the soil. You know, get some more perlite in there, get a little lighter, because this is really damp and I haven't watered in a week. All right, so I'm not going to mess with the roots past that. The inner ones can stick with that soil for the meantime. But I do want to display that trunk, because this will be in here, like I said, for the next 3 years at least. So Gonna bring the soil level up a lot. I made sure to bring, I usually have these on this on the deck, my recycled soil, and my bonsai soil, just for lack of space indoors. And then on the recycled soil, I feel like if there were bugs in there, that's the best way to kill them. And somebody now is going to say, well, actually the eggs go dormant, and now that you brought it inside, they're all going to come out. Don't say that. I'll use some sort of insecticide pre-treatment. Probably an essential oil I'll spray on here with some dish soap. All right, we're getting there. Oh yeah, this is a nice soil upgrade. Good mix in here. It's a little unstable, and that's because it is. I might trim the apex just a bit and then kind of leave everything else other than the old deadwood from its first pruning. All right, yeah. Cool. I'll leave the soil level just below the rim of the pot. This way it makes my life inside indoor watering a lot easier. If you put the soil right to the brim, you typically leak all over the place and make a mess. All right, let me get this squared away, and then we'll do a little final pruning and spin. All right, so nice tall apex. Let's see. It divides right here, but I think that's too high for where I would even want that. So why don't we take it just above this leaf? This way when it comes out again, it looks like it gets nice tall growth. It is a vine. It doesn't go to like 7 feet tall every time. So this will be good. Just above here. Boom, boom. I will probably do a late spring pruning, I'm assuming, if it comes out with crazy long leggy growth, and then hope that it kind of ramifies and continues to grow well through the season. But other than that, I'm not going to prune these now. Not that I did like a whole bunch of shock to the tree by just transplanting it there. You see I didn't really mess with the roots. But if I'm growing this large, there's really no need to prune each branch right now. Just let the tree get strong. When you go to spin it and act like you're cool and then the branch hits you, that's what just happened. All right, look at that trunk. I think it has potential. Regardless, it makes a fun story, and hopefully eventually I'll get some fruit out of it. So that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai, y'all. I'm going to be putting that pot right down over here, and I'm noticing what a total disaster these Blue Jacks, this family of 3, that I let grow wildly this year are. This is just a mess, so I want to get it tidied up, and they're one of the few trees you can be pruning right now, so why not? So that's what's going to be coming up on the next episode of Jarhead Bonsai. But for now, from my family to yours, cheers.